You're good. It's all you, Andrea.
Okay, all right. We'll call our stewardship meeting for March 9th, 2023 to order. And in the room, we have Jennifer Jones from the BLM, Mike Kelso, Tom Dillon, Molly Taylor from the Stewardship Committee. Dale Perry should be arriving soon. Evan Clapper via Zoom, and myself, Andrea Brand, the director. And Evan Clapper is a County Commission liaison. So first order of business is approval of the minutes. And we have two minutes to approve. We have our special meeting, which ended up being posted as an emergency meeting for January 12th. And we have our December 8th minutes. So I sent those over the last few days.
Yeah, I motion to approve the January 12th minutes.
Okay, Molly makes a motion.
I'll second it.
Tom seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. No Dale yet. Okay. And then for the December 8th minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, Mike Kelso makes a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second it.
Molly Taylor seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, well, we had 3 votes, so that's enough. We didn't hear
I
Evan,
was
but
an aye. I was an aye.
okay, thank you, Evan. Okay, 4, thank you. Okay. All right. So, we can go right. We don't have any action items this time or presentation, so we can go right to our no, what am I doing? We have budget. Budget.
Yeah.
I was like, something's wrong. Okay, so we could just look at our total remits first if we want the graph.
The remits, okay?
I mean, it doesn't tell us that much, but we can go over that one quick. So if you look, I went ahead, you know how in 2021 and 2022, we were comparing to 2019, as I have in the little yellow box and the red text below. And then this year, I haven't heard back from Kevin Walker yet, but I'm thinking maybe it's time to start comparing with last year. So that's what I did. And so actually it's on the back, but well, that's the averages. So we are still above I just wrote notes on the bottom of mine. I'm sorry. So we're still above for the 5-year and the 10-year averages, and we are still above for 2019 significantly if we were to compare with 2019 for January and February. You know, if you look on the front and you look at the 2019 column and the 2023 column, January, February, you can see we are quite a bit above. But one thing that's different there is we only had 2 group sites. You know, we opened the group sites in 2020. No, we did in 2019, didn't we? But anyway, we have 6 of them now. You know what was different was the way the recreation.gov, I think, was all coming in there, because part of this money in January and February is recreation.gov, advanced reservations.
Right, and maybe because it's such a wintry winter, people are still skiing.
Yeah, as far as being here in person. Yeah, it was, you know, such a strange cold winter this year and so much snow everywhere. So, but I mean, we are still above the average for the last 5 years and 10 years. So we'll just see how things proceed. What are you guys seeing, Jennifer? The BLM?
It's hard to say, because I think there's definitely some decrease in the 10 to 20% type situation, but it's not quantifiable. We don't have a booth, right? And, it's more anecdotal than anything.
And it's early. Still so early.
Yes, I mean, people are still skiing, and mountains are almost 200% of normal, and so I'm guessing with that piece alone, we may see more spring visitation at the lower elevations. It's unavoidable.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and then when you look at the December and the March balance sheets. So if you look at December, we show cash and combined cash fund at the end of December is $667,077. And so, but one thing it's not exactly right, because if you go to the last page, they did not take out, and still haven't taken it out yet, according to this, the $40,920 that the accounting and bookkeeping, the county takes for HR and administration and the clerk's office and Chris Kaufman at the treasurer's. So they haven't taken that out yet, and search and rescue didn't take their 10,000 out yet, according to this. So that means it's 50,000, 51,000 less than this.
Are you on the balance sheet right now? Is that?
I am on December 31st, 2022 on the, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm on this one that you're showing.
Okay.
And then I was
wanted to make
just
sure.
turning the page to the last page on this that you have. Keep going, one more. Sorry, Matt.
No problem.
Yeah, so accounting, bookkeeping fees there about in the middle. It says 40,920. They haven't taken that out yet. Now I did get this from Christy at the end of January, so I bet it's been taken out now. Hey, Dale, welcome. That's
I set
okay.
my alarm yesterday. And then I set my alarm.
You might want to go over there because then you can see the picture on there, because I don't have a bunch of copies. You're fine. We're glad you're here. Okay, Dale Perry entered the room.
Well, this.
And so when you go to okay, so let me see if there's anything else I wanted to point out about that. Capital improvements, we didn't spend 99,000 because we didn't do anything to the entrance last year and some other things. And we also didn't spend, if you remember, if you looked at the minutes, there was quite a bit of discussion about wages being off in what the predictions were, what we were going to spend in wages and benefits. And so you can see we didn't spend almost 70,000 in salaries, and almost 17,000 in benefits were not spent last year. Because Molly, you remember you had been concerned, concerned. No, that's good. I'm concerned too. It's such a big chunk of the budget. But it was less than what Chris had said. And also, Matt, if you could go back to the second page, just go up to that. If you look under Sandflat's fees online, it says 64,272, and that is actually more like 76,500, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, was brought in.
That's for the year?
Yeah, he's showing 64, and I just got right, and it's actually 76. I just got the information from the clerk's office yesterday. What happened was Jana Smith retired, and so nobody was putting the money into that online account and keeping track of it. And so I talked to the clerk's office, and Jenna Beth is the new person there, and she got right on it and figured everything out, because I had gone through and there had actually been some that weren't entered from July, from September, and I caught all them, and then she caught them, put them in. So we're good now.
When you say online, do you mean the reservations and for the daily passes?
No, not the daily passes, just the rec.gov.
Just the rec, okay.
Yeah, so
Like the grant, it says revenue. The
Yeah.
10,000 on there.
yeah, they count it as revenue, but that should actually be 7,000. So we didn't get it. See, it says unearned. We did get we should have gotten the 7,000. I have to check with Jenna Beth about that too. Thank you. We did all the paperwork on it. So, so anyway, let's see if there's anything else on here that I meant to talk about. No, and if you go back to that third page again, I mean, the things that we were over on were just really minimal. you know, like vehicle maintenance and utilities. They were just, you know, not hard, you know, $1,000 here and there, but we definitely could cover it with our, you know, because we didn't spend. We unexpended 264,000. But that's because we didn't do one of the projects and they were off on the wages and benefits, and they haven't taken out the 51,000 yet for the search and rescue and clerk's office and such. So any questions about any of that? So if we look at March, I talked to Chris Baird again yesterday. And so the front page is kind of meaningless at this point until they do the audit. So don't like panic, because we are not 13,000 in the hole. It really, I don't even know where they come up with that number. Chris was going to get me a little more information about why it reads like that until the audit, because we're not waiting for shouldn't be waiting for somebody else's accounts in the county to get figured out, because we're our own monies, you know? So I don't know, but ever since they changed the way they do the audits, we can't ever see, you know, what we should be seeing in there until like June. So, so I would just look at the second page, because the first page just makes you worry. And it's not accurate. So, you can see on the second page, we've brought in, 8,800 and,
Maximum.
oh, Matt, sorry,
Oh.
we're in March now.
You're in December.
You're still in December. Sorry about that. I'm going too fast.
You're in the financial statement?
Yep. Yeah, one was from Christy and one was from Gabriel, said different names.
This one,
Second
right?
page. Yep, but the second page.
Okay.
There.
Thank you so much. So we brought in almost, 8,828 in online recreation.gov so far. And then 15,000 in fees.
Do we have the new daily pass online fees in this?
Yes, the daily pass online, remember, it's in our Square system. So
Right, is that on the-
I wish it didn't say online. I would prefer that it say recreation.gov. Because it's a little confusing, because we do know that we have online day use passes through Square. But remember, Matt, how all of us working in the booth, we go and we enter the Square amounts in the morning because we want to have it
Right.
going till midnight if they're doing online sales. So yeah, so all those are included in Square.
Okay.
That
So
online is both Square and rec.gov.
no, it's not. It's just rec.gov. When you look at that Sam Flats fees online, that is just rec.gov. So I wish it had a different title, because our regular Sam Flats fees does include online sales through Square when people, scan the QR code on their phones at the booth or pay on the website or, go through the website.
So if we take a second there and look at the budget for those amounts under the fees, last year we didn't come close to those, and yet we increased the budget on those. So we're probably going to be way under. So last year was 637. It's budgeted for 706. Last year online fees, you said 76.
No.
Budgeted
Budget,
95.
no, it's budgeted at 706. We brought in a 711.
Oh, but on Square.
Because it doesn't have the other right.
Oh,
Oh, well,
yeah.
I don't
See?
know why they got that. No, this is right. See,
Yeah.
it says 702.
Yeah.
Okay, here's what I have, 711.
Yeah.
And when you update this to 76,000, you get almost
But the
there.
budget's right. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
again, he's got those wages and benefits too high.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Well, I'm just saying, if it doesn't go up this year, it's gonna be, because now the budget's rate 12.
I know.
Yeah, okay. Just point it out.
No, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, with the online, if you get that 8,000 every month, boom, you're 95,000.
Well, we were at 76, so we
Yeah.
did okay. We remember, because
Yeah.
when I met with you guys, I was predicting 65 or something,
Yeah.
and we did get up 11,000 more than I thought. So,
Okay.
but yeah, we didn't reach the 95, and he put in 95 again. Remember, I put in my budget to them, you guys look at it in September.
Right.
And it gets approved finally approved in December, but it's kind of like you don't touch it once November hits.
Okay.
The commission has it, and I mean, I guess you could in emergency, but I'm sure you can, but you know, so we don't know all this stuff until hindsight. And this year, they just told us this morning that we're going to start the budget a month earlier. So we'll start it in August instead of September. Chris wants us just started earlier, so. Okay, so if we go to where we were in March, the last page, yeah, really, we're just spending money on salaries and benefits so far, and utilities, you know, and a few supplies. None of the printing is here. I've got all this stuff that's gone out for printing and signs, but hasn't been billed yet and don't have it yet, so. Okay, well, any questions there? Good questions, Molly.
Well,
What?
You have campos this year at all?
Yeah, we'll have Fred again.
Fred.
Yeah, we gotta get our paperwork. Yeah. Yeah, we're happy to have him up there.
well, come August, you might have to readjust the budget down 10%. If things don't increase.
Yeah, let's see. Okay. So
How are your dumping fees so small?
our dumping fees for our trash?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I guess it's just one location, no?
Well, we have two. I did get, we only had one, we had two locations last year in the spring and Finn's. But then, the fall I couldn't get Finn's, but I did just get a dumpster. It's coming next week for Finn's. I was on a waiting list. Yeah, so we do have it. But, you know, it doesn't really generate more trash to have it there. We still kind of have the same amount, although we're paying the rental. But, for it.
Yeah.
But it just keeps some people out of the Slick Rock parking lot. And you know, it's nice to have a little less trash traffic in there, going to dump their trash, because it, you know, gets busy in there. Of course, it gets pretty busy at Finn's now too.
We're up to just over $96,000.
Dumping fees.
But you have,
Rental and dump.
but you have a lot more dumpsters than we have. Oh yeah, we only have the two. Wow, that's a
The
lot.
2022 is just 16,000.
Yeah,
instead of 25,000.
that's all.
Well, and then our toilets,
Where are the 20?
70,000 I have budgeted for the toilets. You're
Where are
almost
they?
there, Matt.
Are
Go
they
down.
contract? Yeah.
Contract services toilet.
Me too.
That includes toilet
That's
paper.
cleaning, paper and pumping.
Yep, for 28 toilets. But you have a lot more than,
Bargain.
you have a lot more than 28 though.
Yeah, 107.
And that's also portable. That's also portable toilets that we rent,
It's
which
16,000 on just toilet paper.
Wow.
you
I
have,
know, it's scale.
146
70.
campsites. You have 600 and something, over 700. So yeah, I bet it's the same ratio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet it's a similar ratio.
UIO.
Bring your own bum paper. Okay, so, all right, any more good questions here for budget? I appreciate it. Okay, Matt, I guess we can go to our PowerPoint now, and I was trying to rush us to before. All right, so, oh, that's good. Thank you. So remember, there was these piles of dirt at the exit to Fins and Things. So when we met last time, we talked about the work that Lee Palfreman from the BLM heavy equipment operator was doing in F, G, and H. And then he did have time to do this. So the next slide, he moved all that dirt and put it, you know, there's the hole. And then he put, I guess, go down to the next one. Let's see. Yeah, so
Wow.
Wow. That's
I really
nice.
didn't understand how much dirt we needed. So we didn't get the hole really filled in that much, but we have a really nice road.
Nice.
And he'd used the rest of our boulders that we've had in C for the last, I don't know, 5 to 7 years or more.
We're not
And-
gonna have a big puddle there anymore
Well, I think
after it
we'll
rains.
still have a puddle, maybe, but it's very clear that people should be going around.
Oh, yeah, no, that's a big fix.
Yeah.
Don't let them in the puddle, they want the puddle, if the puddle's there, they want to go around it. The irony.
Yeah, so I mean, if you remember, Mike was, yeah, it's really nice. So it should last a while, I would think. He, used that dirt and then he capped it with some harder material, and Sandpots, of course, paid for it. We still came out under 10,000 in costs for the materials between FGH and here.
Yeah, you need to.
Yeah. And then Mike's Red Rock 4-wheelers, they were going to put a fence here, but we ended up doing a fence somewhere else. We're going to see if our signs work. And then if we need to come back and do something in the future. Okay, so I also was going to get seating done. I did not get the seating done because he came in at $4,000. So seems like a lot of money to me. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to see, I'm kind of on a list with him, the gentleman that did it before. And he said, well, if I'm coming down here to do something else at the same time, it would be considerably cheaper. That's why we paid under 2,000 last time, because he was doing Lions back across the street, from around our parking lot. So I don't know, I've got to get on that. Jennifer, you have any ideas? I mean, 4,000 is a lot to see those 4 sites, I think.
But as of today, they're closed. Nobody can use it.
See if they have.
Call Cara.
Yeah, if they have access to the appropriate seed,
Yeah.
can you organize some massive?
Oh, yeah, we could just,
Watering truck and then.
well, the thing about their seed is, they have that sealant on it,
Yeah,
which would be good.
yeah.
I mean, there is a lot of vegetation around it, so I mean, things will blow in eventually. I mean, if you remember that place where the road, like near past Pinion Trail, how the road the road department went and realigned the road, and there's that big curve that has we never did any seeding in there. That's all full of plants, but this is close to where people are more, so.
Andrew, what about a volunteer data?
That's what I'm saying.
We could.
Laura got access to the right seed.
Yeah,
An expense and then a volunteer and.
yeah, we could definitely do that for spraying the seed. It wouldn't have that sealant on it, but yeah.
She might have other.
She might have other, yeah,
so-
true. All right. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one, Matt. Okay, so this was you might remember a few years ago, Mike Kelso and I were talking about way back, like 2019, I think we started talking about the section. This is on the dog leg on Fins and Things, the out and back section before you get to Kenny's Climb. And so there's this little area, you can go, please.
It's super narrow.
Super narrow. I had to get the last
I had to
meeting.
get out of the
Yeah.
Hummer, check it, because I have the Hummer with bottom out. It's so
So,
wide.
I went out there with Bill Stevens a few weeks ago, and we walked it, and we walked the route that Mike had suggested, and the BLM decided we didn't need to do a travel plan change.
We did do a.
Oh, you did a travel plan change, but I guess, then maybe I don't know if I need to go to the county or not, but anyway, we're gonna go ahead and mark that for people to go around.
So that's a for sure change then? It's
Yes,
happening.
it's been approved.
Yeah, it was signed.
It was quick. Yeah, Dave Pals, right? And you
So
were there that day too, I heard.
Is it rerouted already then, as of
Well,
today?
when we go out there and paint this week here, next week, we'll reroute it.
Okay,
It's on the list. Okay, and then the next slide is just, the HB180. I don't know if you've gotten a chance to do the test just
I
for
did.
fun. Yep.
Yep, we encouraged all of our staff on campus to do it too, just so that we have personal awareness.
I'm
And
gonna
I-
do it tonight.
And I did let Chase know that there was some issues in that. I mean, Anna Sprout had pointed them out to me, being a teacher, and doing tests online. And I mean, that you could actually just go through and never actually read anything and just hit boxes
Click the radio button.
and click the buttons, and you can be done in 5 minutes. And then when you get to the, and then you can print out your thing. So I had suggested to him, I said, well, you have to, it encourages you to watch the video. Like if you try to advance the next page and you haven't watched the video, you have to go back and at least check the box. But the other ones, you can advance all the way to the end and get them all wrong as well. And it won't tell you until the end. And then you do have to go back before you can, like it'll even say you have completed this successfully. But then when you go to try to submit your answers, it'll say, no, you're wrong. And you have to go back. But so what we said is like each page, don't let people advance until they've gotten them right, and don't give them the answers. I mean, obviously, if it's a true false, it's going to be, they can just switch it. But some of them have more selections. So he said they would, think about making it a little different, setting up a little differently. So anyway, but I also had other people think it was awesome.
Well,
And
yeah,
they liked the videos and everything.
At least you know if you got it wrong.
Yeah.
So totally aside, but related, Allie Kosakowski, who's in some of those videos, she, and I haven't sent this to Finley yet, but she actually had to change a bunch of her stuff because she continues to get all sorts of text messages, Facebook messages, stuff because of this.
Because her name is on it. Maybe they should just take her name off.
Yeah, so it was.
That's the first I heard of that.
That's
Okay.
something I'm gonna share with Mark Finley is, maybe just first names kind of thing, because we don't ever want anybody to basically be
Harassed.
stopped and harassed.
Yeah. Wow, I've never had anybody do
Yeah.
anything to me. That's weird.
You didn't.
Yeah, was
You had a lot of
all
social media
over, or-
go back from our January 12th, but maybe if you don't go to the social media pages, you can't read them. They went through each one of our background, like they dissed me for just being around. Like what sort of,
Is this on Facebook?
yeah, it was one of the top UTV pages.
UTV Utah,
Yeah.
the largest UTV.
Anyway, Cliff got very
organization in the
concerned
state.
about it, and I was like, Cliff, just don't go to social media.
I didn't, I went on
So,
the,
like, why take that criticism?
yeah, I went to the Red Rock Four Wheelers Facebook page because there was a lot of discussion there, but that was more local, seemed like.
Yeah.
And you guys took
A
a
lot of.
lot of heat.
Yeah,
I got hammered.
yeah. So anyway, well, that's good. Just don't go there.
Well, yeah, and our problem was they were saying it was the Red Rock Florida.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't have to do with, it has something to do with me,
Oh.
and not.
I could, not to, if we want to go back to
Well,
what you were
not to
saying.
take time. Let's move on.
Well, I was just gonna say, Jennifer, I could probably, I can work with Mark and I can work with Chase. And I can have Mark edit those out and send it back to Chase probably so that if they can change it midway, I don't know, and just jump in there and fix those videos. I wish I'd known that, because last June, she's getting it since the HB180. Is she getting it? Oh, okay, just with the HB180.
Yeah, I just heard from her February 26th.
Wow.
Because I had written to her back. Yeah, when I had the old phone, and then
Okay, so
our
let's,
conversation started January, because I wanted her to be aware that she was on this thing in case. it
so
came
where
up
is she
and-
seeing it, on Facebook or?
Yeah, they're tracking her on Facebook. She had to change her name on Facebook because I've been getting messages about Utah UTVing in the last 2 weeks.
Just haven't found me on Facebook. I don't.
Well, and here's an example.
Uh-oh.
Please tell me why all of your videos for the new OHV certification show people in side-by-sides not wearing helmets. I know it might be the law, might not be
They
the
don't have-
law,
yeah.
but if we set the example in Bar High, maybe more will follow. Me personally, I'm a dirt biker and I would never not wear a helmet, but it seems to be a standard in UTVs. If it has a cage, you are safe.
Who's this from?
Some random person.
Oh, yeah.
reached out to her, you
That's, they should write it to the
Real
state.
long?
They should write it to the state.
You know who it is, if it's real long.
know? I don't.
So, okay, so I can talk to Chase and Mark Finley and see about changing. I'll look at the videos again and see. I mean, I have my full name. I have Matt's full name. I mean,
I'm just saying.
well, she doesn't work for him anymore.
She
Yeah,
doesn't work for us for years.
yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. We'll see if we can get it out of there. I mean, we're the ones that gave the videos to them,
Mhm.
and I worked with Mark to modify them for them, so it'd be easy enough for him to do it. It's just whether they'll go ahead and insert it. I wouldn't think it'll be too hard to insert it somehow. They'd have to have it down for a little bit, but okay, well, good to know. That's sad that that's happening. Are you okay with your full name in there?
I don't care. That's the least of my worries.
Who's in it? We've got you, me, Matt.
I don't even.
Allie?
Am I?
You don't
Like,
think you're in
it's been
this?
Used in this, I don't think so.
I gotta check. I gotta check. I'll have to watch them all again. Okay. All right. What's our next one?
Raptor Route update.
Okay, so my understanding is that this will be, Jennifer, you maybe know more than me, but it's supposed to be completed in the fall.
We
Kestrel
are,
Trail, is
we are
there-
anxiously waiting, the underground culture was done, Tyson and, cultural intern who left very shortly after, did it on the ground, it's all just the paperwork now, and unfortunately, the travel planning leverage Gemini is just the first priority for everything, so I'm hoping.
Is it in litigation?
What, Kestrel?
Yeah,
No,
I heard, I
No.
heard from somebody it was.
I don't think so.
So, I haven't-
Check.
okay, well. And then you can go to the next one, Matt. Well, that just shows where the Kestrel Trail is, the pink one on this map. To avoid Days Crack. Okay, we can go to International Dark Sky. So just to let you know, I'm not happy with the bulbs I have up at the booth. So I'm trying to get different bulbs. But for some reason, I'm not able to find the ones that Crystal is recommending. So, but we do have the right fixtures. So we'll get that figured out here in the next week or so. We are doing night sky monitoring. I was up there with Crystal a few weeks ago, and we're recording, you know, how dark the sky is in 7 places. We go to the 7 trailheads. You have to do it like 3 days after the full moon, and you know, at the earliest, and then you do it like at, I don't know, we were doing it at like 9-10 o'clock at night, and we just monitor how dark it is at each place. And Falcon Flow is, well, last time, yeah, it's dark. Falcon Flow parking lot is dark, but last time Falcon and Juniper and Pinion were all the same, and we had snow on the ground when we did it, but it still was dark. Not as dark as last summer when I did it, when there was no snow on the ground. But yeah, we're getting some really, I mean, we already are at the level of acceptance for dark sky application, or else you can't go through this process. But we're just doing this, and then Crystal's gonna do the star parties this summer, like she tried to do last year. They got rained out, most of them last year, but she's gonna put those on the schedule and do those again. So that's great. So that's all part of, you know, what we need to do for application. And then this summer, I'm going to be writing it. I was hoping I would be writing it in January, but the RAISE grant just took over my life. So, okay. So,
Just real quick to
yeah.
follow up. I guess there was some discussion.
For Raptor.
Kestrel and Mitsua is standing down.
Oh,
It's Kaya and Tromex made a deal. Yeah, I didn't think we were.
okay.
Yeah, so it's been on e-planning for almost 2 years and we haven't had a single comment, except for when will it be finished?
Oh,
Yeah, so we're just waiting on the cultural paperwork.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry, you scared me there for a minute. I was like,
Well,
no, it's not.
I just heard that from somebody last week. So I was like,
It's probably the rumor mill of there was discussion. I'm guessing.
okay. All right. Okay, hiring. That isn't, I don't have a slide, but we did not have any good luck with hiring. Fortunately, all my seasonals are back, but you know, we're still a little short-handed, so I will be, I mean, I always do some booth and patrol anyway, but each week, but anyway. It'd be nice if we had some good applicants, but we only had 5 and really none of them had a background that fit the job description. I tried to interview 2. I interviewed 1. The other one got another job before I got to interview her. I think she would have probably been the best one, but I mean, she might have been a match, but anyway. So we will try in the fall. What?
What are those wages posted at? I'm just curious.
I think they're 22 to 28 an hour.
Yeah, okay.
They're
Jeez.
higher than they've ever been.
Yeah, I'll spread the word.
Okay,
Great, Mike.
so okay,
Like keep around all the time, look at things.
Yeah.
Documents. Yeah.
so the business plan, we're, you know, if you recall from our last meeting, we were gonna be going before the RAC board. I was gonna be going before the RAC board in January. And that didn't happen. The process is taking longer this time. So than in, you know, years ago when we did it. So I will go before them mid-May and hopefully it can be implemented June 1st. So unfortunately, doing the calculations of what we expected to bring in, we could be losing approximately 90,000.
So what I can say is throughout the state, so not just the Sandflats business plan, there is unprecedented scrutiny of business plans.
That's what it sounded like.
Sandflats has been through headquarters as well as the state office. We've incorporated all of their comments and requests and suggestions as of Monday. What is his position? Associate district manager?
Is this in Salt Lake or way in DC?
Well, no, our stuff Salt Lake.
Okay.
First 430 is recreation and business services, but this is the state office. So the third down below the state director and the assistant, I forget what his title is, was chatting with Katie about it on Monday. State office is supposed to have a 2-week review window, which would mean that it's done on Monday, it's coming Monday. Every day, I'm pinging them, not only for the business plan, but for the press release.
They still haven't done the press release.
The press release is being circulated. We hear that Tracy Stone Manning herself is reviewing press releases,
Who's she?
director of the BLM.
Oh, right. Really?
So just don't take it personal is what I'm saying, but we are doing all that we can do to just push politely every day. Literally, the last thing I did before I left the office was chat, trying to figure out where the press release is. And yesterday afternoon, our public information officer was trying to figure it out from the state.
Is that still Rachel or is she?
Rachel's still our public information officer, but Diane is the comms coordinator, communications coordinator in the state office. And all I can tell you is we're pushing.
Thank you.
We keep trying, and we don't understand what the concerns are.
Well, they didn't come back with that many edits when we turned it in December to them. You know, there was some good questions, but we addressed them. And a lot of it.
My fingers are still crossed.
Oh, God, I hope so. Boy, if they don't.
I mean, we also don't have the Federal Register and Mass Reduced Party yet either. So there's a lot of things that are just very held up.
See, when we did it, just so you guys maybe knew the background or whatever, you know, when I worked it with Rock Smith on this, you know, in 2015, it was just Rock and I working together on it. And I'm sure maybe he had to do something that I wasn't aware of, but it just flowed, you know, and the same thing with Russ. But this time there's just so many hands in the.
It's not just him. It's a statewide thing. It's press releases, it's EAs, it's business plans, it's a lot.
Really,
Building themselves a job.
that's kind of what.
No. I mean, it's I don't.
And
It's other than
was our budget for this year set on the new rates or the old rates, or a split halfway through?
It was set, well, it was set on what was needed for, you know, we still have a fund balance, but it was set
Okay.
on what was needed for wages and projects. I mean, we budgeted, if we don't have to do some of the projects that are budgeted in that capital improvement, they could be kicked down the road. You know, I mean, we said we were gonna maybe build a shade structure out here. That's low priority. You know, I budgeted 50,000 for that. We can just say, nope, we can't do it this year.
Okay.
You know, and then I put money in for the entrance, but it sounds like we don't need that from my last, you know, discussions. So we're not seeing those lines. That was really a COVID. I mean, we have people, but we're not seeing backed up lines. We're so quick now with our Square system, our credit card system. COVID's over. People aren't having to get out, walk up to the booth. I mean, we've had the outfitters last year just commend how quickly they were getting through at the booth. You know, if they ever waited, it was 15 minutes, but even that was rare. So I don't think we need another booth right now. So, or change the roads around the entrance. So, I mean, I've had all those things in there, but if we don't have the money, we'll just drop those, push them back and do what needs to be done. So, yeah, so that's good. We have flexibility.
Do it, but In-N-Out Burger. Send somebody out of the booth and collect the fees and collect
They
that.
won't.
We can't, no,
Safety
it's a
issue.
safety issue. We can't do that.
That's
But we
what
do
that
have
is.
more online sales, so getting a
I
little
still
more.
think that's where you could do an future.
Yeah.
Some type of scan.
To go around,
capability.
because there is that second thing there.
Yeah, for permittees and folks. with passes.
Yeah, but it's not big enough right now. It's not legally the right size, you know, I mean, yeah, the specs are not met yet. It would have to be all redone. I mean, it wouldn't be that big a deal, but.
No.
Okay, so what do we have on there? What's next? And I don't know, where are we? We're almost 4, we're okay. Well, we could take a little break and you could show that little video. Matt, are you able to?
Hold on here. You just
Yeah.
want the biocrust?
The little, yeah, 2.5 minute one.
Oh, but incredibly
Hold on,
important.
let me know if you can hear this.
I hear it, but we don't see. Okay, here it's coming. Thanks so much.
A lot of people who are coming to Moab have maybe never been in a desert before, and they don't realize how alive deserts can be. Don't think of this as an empty wasteland with a lot of rocks. Think of this as a living place, as an incredible and fragile and beautiful ecosystem that you can be a part of protecting. In between plants, there's these open spaces, and those open spaces get filled up by biological soil crusts. Soil crust is this incredible that really binds the soil particles in place. And so it can wrap itself around all of the sand and soil grains that we have in the desert. And it really holds this whole ecosystem together. And I love so many things about biocrusts. And I love that amidst this really large landscape, there's these small but incredibly important, colorful little communities that are just right at the soil surface that you can get down and look at. These biocrusts, they're mostly made up of cyanobacteria. And these cyanobacteria create the foundation of these communities. And a lot of times they can be dark in color. And that color, that's actually sunscreen that the biocrusts are making to protect themselves from the desert UV radiation. And then over time, that cyanobacteria creates a stable platform for other organisms to come in. And those grow and develop together. And over time, they kind of heave up into these beautiful, colorful, dark pinnacles that you see in intact biocrust areas around the desert. A lot of people don't know that biocrusts are these ancient assemblages, and we get them here in deserts because there's just not enough rain for there to be a continuous covering of plants. The desert is a really amazing place, and the things living here can withstand a lot of different extremes, but what they can't really withstand is compression. I like to tell people it's similar to a meringue, and I use that to illustrate this
What
point.
is that?
Meringue.
Meringue pressure. That's what happens to bio.
No.
So
Awesome.
if you're a UTVer or a hiker or a mountain biker, you come here and you want to be on that beautiful single track, going out into the desert surrounded by these beautiful desert landscapes. But what happens with any of those sports is when you start going off the trail, you can create these webs, these networks of trails because the desert around you is getting small.
You know, I shouldn't have shown
It's ugly landscape and it's not how we care for this place. So when you visit Moab, practice those leave no trace principles to really engage in being a steward of this place so we can all continue enjoying Moab for years to come.
Wow, that was good.
Okay, one day I want some of the videos and the riding videos to be a guy with a hat and a beard and Carhartts doing that presentation. There needs to be like the alter,
Yeah.
Oh,
the same with some of the OHV videos and stuff.
well,
Every single one is a woman in this thing, and it's like, needs to be
no,
a
no, no,
redneck
no,
guy.
the backcountry tips one is John Marshall.
Okay.
The
Yeah, he
backcountry
has to
tips
go
one is
see
John
it.
Marshall, and he
Yeah.
looks good in that. He's
Okay,
good.
just saying, it's here, we need the balance.
Well, that's just because this is the science one.
Right,
this
no,
is
I know,
Sasha
but
Reed.
when we told it was this guy that was kind of like,
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, we've already thought about that. That's why he
Yeah.
used John Marshall
okay.
in the backcountry tips one. And that one is on, well, anyway, just to finish these. So Mark has an ephemeral pool one that's almost ready to go. Like he has a mite one with Tim Graham, the little mites, and then he has the tadpole shrimp, but they're still in we can't show them yet. All the ones he sent to me, they say do not share. So I couldn't show them because it's a public meeting.
You might spy us.
No,
Okay.
not these kind. So anyway, there's some nice things coming out and from Mark and what I wanted to say too about the videos is channel 6. Okay, so TRT monies were a little bit in a holding pattern, and so originally they were going to pay for 6 to 8 videos to be on channel 6, but they did not have them, they were putting it on hold. So Sam Flats, I went ahead and paid for 3 of them to be on there between now and June. So right now we have the biking one that was on there before, the 5 tips, and the Moab Living Soils one that's like a 6 or 8 minute video. That is what is on channel 6. I talked him down to $200 a month per video. So we're paying, Matt, what are you doing?
He's playing a video. Something with David
Oh,
Adams.
David
Yeah, he's
Adams,
missing
yeah.
David Adams.
Yeah.
Yep. And so, so anyway, there's 3 of them on there right now. It's costing us $1,800 for the March, April, May. And then Maddie says that she's got money now. And so we will hopefully have 8 videos between June and the end of the year. And so that one that John Marshall is in, the one that John Marshall is in will be on there. And the ones we had all last year will be on there. So the new ones will be the backcountry tips with John Marshall and the Moab's Living Soils, crusts, and then the 6 we had before last year. So yeah, so there's a lot of good videos on. If you guys, do you ever go to the Discover Moab website? They're kind of hidden. I wish they had like a button, but if you go to just Google, search on that website videos, then you'll get the whole page. Is that what you're on right now? Yeah, that's what Matt's on right now. Yeah.
He's on YouTube.
Yeah, but go to the top. It said Discover Moab. You can go to see Discover.
Oh,
Well,
nice.
there's, yeah, he might be on. Anyway, Discover Moab has that whole list of them.
On videos.
Of videos, and they're great to watch. Yep. There's a sustainability one I didn't even know about that they did with the city. Yeah, Moab sustainability, that's interesting. So anyway, okay, let's go to our next one, the RAISE grant, Matt, on the PowerPoint, please. Oh, ephemeral pools, he's still working on that one. Okay, so maybe you saw some of this in the newspaper. It was in both papers, but just as a background, which didn't really make it into the articles, the road department has put in for this grant 2 times before. The first time they put in, they actually missed the deadline. The second time they put in was last year. I wasn't involved, except, I mean, they talked to me, consulted me, but I wasn't involved with the writing. But this year, I talked to Bill Jackson and he wanted me to be involved. So hopefully I think it's a much improved grant application. I got a letter from the BLM. I have a letter from the commission. We have, I went and we got debriefed on what was wrong with the previous application, that they didn't do that. I said, let's do that, you know, and what else did we do? I got the updates from the sheriff's department on accidents on the road. So, you know, updated all the statistics. So if you look at Matt, I'm sorry, go to that slide you were just on. So this is just some highlights from the letter. So just so you know, the proposed project, if you go to the third paragraph there, the proposed project is 7 miles of the Sand Flats Road to be paved from the entrance station to Porcupine Rim. The roadway is 24 feet wide, includes 1 mile of asphalt pavement and 6 miles of graded dirt right now. But the proposed roadway would be 12-foot lanes, 1 to 3 foot wide paved shoulders, 5-foot bike paths on both sides to accommodate both bicycles and pedestrian traffic. And they would mill up the existing pavement that's there now and put down new pavement with bike lanes.
Amazing.
Yeah, and
But you got it.
well, we didn't get the grant, but I
Oh.
got approval from the commission
Oh,
because I went to Trail Mix to try to get a letter from them for approval. And they voted to not send a letter of approval.
wow.
Why?
Why?
Well, they were surprised that it was going to be paved. Okay, so this was the third time. It was before the commission.
Yeah.
It was, right, I've talked about it since 2015. It's been in the business plan. It's been in our business plan since 2015, and it was on the master plan in August of last year. And then before the meeting, the Trail Mix meeting, some of those people in the room called the commissioners, and then the commissioners said, we didn't know it was going to be paved up to the Porcupine. And so I sat there and I said, okay, let me read you the names of the commissioners on the application. And all of their names are on the application, and all of their names, I mean, I don't know all their names, but I mean, they approved the master plan. So, but anyway, they didn't remember it, or I don't know, so. I mean, they've got a lot of things on their plate, but, I mean,
So it was approved.
so it was approved that we could send in the grant. So it was a little bit of a heartache for me that week. You know, I mean, it wasn't, I mean, just when I went to Trail Mix and they didn't give me a letter of support, I was like, okay. And I just wrote you guys a letter of support and you want another one.
Well, good job.
Anyway, I shouldn't say that, but
What was the
yeah.
reason why they didn't want it paved all the way up to Porcupine?
Loss of wilderness characteristics.
Okay.
I said that ship has sailed.
Yeah, wilderness washboard.
And then
We're talking about safety here, 100,000 cars a year. It's a county road. Yeah, yeah.
And then Andrew, when do you find out? When do you find out if it's?
I guess this fall or summer.
It's not too
Summer
far.
we'll find out if we got it. But so we'll see. Last year they had 900 and something applicants and they chose about 120. But this is a $10 million project. I don't know what the average, that'd be a good question. What was the average amount of the grants that were funded? I just thought of that now, but anyway. So, yeah, so, okay, you can go through. Yeah, the next slide is a good picture of fugitive dust.
Yeah.
So
It's even better when
That's-
it's been a
that's- that's what the engineers called it in the application. What, Jennifer?
Which one?
That's fun. I'm back to the basic road. I had some folks do it right in front of me. We're just in our personal truck.
So Jonah right on the road. I know.
Two of them, 2 UTVs.
And
That one window.
well, I appreciated that, is it Mike McCurdy on the commission? And he said, and that we all, is obvious to us, like, people are gonna slow down in their UTVs if it's paved. Because we see that, when they're in their UTVs on the paved part, they're not going, they're not screwing around.
Right.
They hit that dirt, boom,
Screw around.
yahoo!
Yeah.
And we just.
I'm guilty of that.
What?
I'm guilty of that when I hit the dirt.
He wants to
You
do
are.
it, the Moab drift. for corners.
Oh. Yeah,
Okay,
okay, let's go. What's next? Okay, so Jennifer knows I need to get this into her before
Actually, I wrote
April.
this right here with the information page.
Oh, I know, I
Those are
know.
only mechanisms.
I know, that's what hopefully that's gonna happen next week. Yeah, I know, April 9th or something is the due date. So it'll be more this time, it'll be longer, 5 years, 15,000 a year, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that.
50,000 or more.
Oh, so you might as well go to 5. Yeah.
My fingers are crossed.
Okay, well, I get that done. Oh, so we talked about this last time. So, I did get into the All Trails app and I started doing some updates for Sam Flats, but then I just kind of said, okay, I can only do so much. I mean, it's their business. So I did fix some things, but there's more to be fixed. But, and Jason's supposed to try to get to it too, with 2 of us, and then Wander app, I didn't get an update from Active Trails and Transportation, but I know that they're working on it. But did you guys just meet recently?
We did a presentation for the Grand Summit last Wednesday, along with the gentleman on our app. It was mostly about, the Trail Ambassador program, but then he had the last few minutes to tell the audience about the Wander app and the, one source of information, bring everybody there kind of thing.
I think it's
still
great.
moving.
Yeah, I figured when she talked about it last fall, early fall, I said, I don't think you're gonna have it up and running by spring. I think you need a whole year at least. I don't know, it depends. I mean, there's a lot of great stuff out there already from Discover Moab. If you can just pull it over, then
It's amazing how many people I know, before they come to Moab, they can discover these hot and look at all these videos. It blows my mind.
yeah,
Redneck hot rodders,
they're getting their information.
It's
Yeah.
really good because it puts them.
look at green grass. What's that grass?
Yeah. So I can get into the backside. Anna Sprout helped facilitate that, and I've gone in like maybe, I don't know, maybe 4 hours, I'd say, is all I've spent. But I did talk to Katie and I did talk to Anna about the trails were listed as Grand County trails, not in Sam Flats, but other places. And I said, I think it should say Moab BLM field office. It's not a Grand County trail. So Anna said, and
Thank you.
yeah. Because you have Forest Service on there. I mean, why would you not have BLM? So anyway,
Yeah, that's really good.
I know it was really weird. So she's fixing that, and I don't know how that happened, but it wasn't. I mean, I tried to fix it. I didn't have access to those trails. I only have access to Sam Flats.
Are you seeing trails or info on these user-generated ones that you are trying to curb?
Yeah, I'm trying to correct them. They've had some weird mistakes, and then they have to approve my corrections. Just like direction and just safety information, seasonal information.
But there's not necessarily like trails you're trying to steer people away from, or like overuse kind of things yet.
No, I haven't. Oh, Jennifer just asked, are you talking about pirate type trails, illegal trails?
Well, I mean, part of the attraction of the other one where we have control over it is, you know, if somebody's like, "Oh, Mill Creek's the best place to be in the summer," like we can like try to tone that down some so that things aren't getting crazy. And I was
Yeah,
just wondering if
that's,
there was
well,
spots and sand flats that are, you know, starting to get crazy like that.
Well, it is.
yeah, they have cowboy jacuzzi on all trails. I noticed that. Oh,
There, you'll recognize a lot of local comments. It is sandy, full of dog poop, yeah, just the worst trail ever.
well, I only have access to sand flats, but Anna Sprout has access to everything in Moab. So you could talk to Active Trails and Transportation, but I know she went in this winter and was trying to you know, correct things and make them, but you could talk to her about specific
Yeah.
things. I guess she's working with you guys too,
Well,
what
I
you
went
want.
in before. It took me 6 weeks to try to get a couple things put in for Cowboy Jacuzzi and Professor Creek and Hidden Valley about adjacent private property and being respectful to the private property owners.
But you were trying to probably get them to do it.
Yeah.
But
that
we
was
have the
basic,
access
yeah.
now.
But
Yeah.
we gave a letter to them giving
Okay.
authority on it.
Okay, and then I have access for sand flats, so I'm just really updating it so that it's the same as what we have on our website. You know, I'm not creating, you know, or it's matching some of the language that Active Trails and Transportation is using for, you know, the different things like poop and stuff.
Responsible recreation.
Yeah, responsible recreation. So yeah, that's what I'm not trying to steer anybody away from anything.
Yeah. It's not like Real Creek is showing up on here or anything.
Right.
No,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
not yet.
but when it does, they won't take it down.
They're not gonna take, because I was gonna suggest, hey, why don't they take down Cowboy Jacuzzi? Why is that on there?
I tried. And I
Well,
was
that's the other
Sounds
what's
good.
the other app we were just talking about? The
We're talking about Wander app is the counties, and then this is
Yeah.
all trails.
yeah, so if people start using Wander instead, then we'll be able to curate it much more.
Yeah, that would be nice,
Right,
but that doesn't mean it's.
right. This isn't gonna go away, so I think it's good that we're working with these guys too to try to get it closer to what the BLM wants. What Sam Flats wants.
Overall, though, there's a bunch of other popular trail maps online like this. You know, there's the one from REI that I think I use all the time, the one that's called Project Trails from REI, the store, the company. And then Gaia is another favorite one of mine. There's a bunch more. So it's just like, but all trails, in my opinion, it is pretty popular, you know, but yeah, there's others.
I think Anna's talked with the whole Project Suite thing also. I think All Trails is the most popular, and that's kind of why she started with it, and we'll work down the list.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
I mean-
because that Project Suite, they also have the mountain bike project and the mountain project, the rock climbing stuff. And I think she's got some stuff on there already about bike trails and wet rock and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I remember doing this years ago with Utah.com or something. They had a lot of stuff wrong. I remember calling them and we changed some of it. But okay, what else? Oh, this sticker vandalism. So yeah, you got my email, right? You sent it this morning.
Oh, no, I haven't.
Okay, so this is in the email.
So,
Yeah.
I was just looking for Such as staff names, hours, wages, and spreadsheet built out.
Yeah, just it's on what I sent you. I sent you the labor. I didn't send you the staff name, but I can. I mean, it's just one staff.
Okay.
Spent, removed about 40 stickers. If they're on the back of a sign like they were here, he would use the blowtorch and you could get them off pretty quickly. If they're on the Carsonites, in the beginning, we were finding them, we could just peel them off, but then they started putting them on with Gorilla Glue.
Yep.
So when they did that, we just have to pull the Carsonite, or I have some of them in the back of one of the trucks where I have these just brown stickers that I had made
Yeah,
for the
can you just put
prison.
a sticker
Well,
over
some
it?
of them are all lumpy from the
Yeah,
glue, so.
Do
eh.
you still have all the ones that you've had to pull, the
Mhm.
parchments?
Mhm. Well, he might have cut, I saw some in the garbage. He might have cut
Well,
some of the old
it's
ones
a
up.
lot of them, it's covered up.
Well,
No,
yeah.
I mean, for
Yeah.
potential
Oh. Yeah.
restitution.
Well, we have pictures of everything.
Okay, good.
And so yeah, so already it's 2,185 and that's supplies and that's everything. But we don't think we've found all of them. You know, like we haven't been on those two that go out and back over Grand Staff Canyon. We heard there's some out there. So we
What
haven't been
about
out there
just
yet.
spray paint? The brown spray paint.
I guess that's an idea.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
don't know, but hopefully it has stopped and now we can actually get ahead of the curve.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he was pulling them off since December. And we had a
It started
picture,
in-
we have a picture of the shoe print. We kept seeing the same shoe print. And we've turned that into law enforcement. It's a pretty big shoe. Footprint near all these signs.
Which one?
Cody,
County or
Cody. I was in my department head meeting this morning and I told them that I was calculating this for you guys. And Steven Stock said that the law enforcement would probably want it too. And so I just sent it to Steven as well.
Good, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good to do it because I didn't realize it was
Wow.
a lot. When you start adding up, you're like, holy cow. Those Carsonites are $24 each now, plus shipping.
right, that's what I thought you. painted.
No, we didn't think of paying them. I
Yeah.
think we'll try that. I've got some still, and the feeding, I saw some cut up, but I think,
You do? Yeah. We just had to order some more, because I thought we had some and we were like out, so.
okay, so what else do I have there? Oh, I've just been writing letters of support to, for Cody, the BLM, for the OHV that they're trying to get replaced. And to the sheriff's department, they're trying to get 2 OHVs and a trailer. So I wrote letters of support for that, and then I wrote the letter of support for the commission for the grant that they signed. I wrote it. What?
It's way behind. It should have all this long time.
Well, they had it. There's just like the one that they have is a 2014. Yeah, you're right. I mean, they should have had one between now and 2014. Yeah. And I don't know how old the BLM's is. But I mean, I really want to replace them every like 3 years. So we'll need someone will have to write a grant for me next year. I'm going to write a support letter for Sam Flats next year for us to get one.
Well, I mean, not that we have time, but Cliff was just talking about how many millions of dollars were in there. So maybe
No.
time, do it this year.
Utah OHV grant, or Utah.
When do they close?
The 31st of this month. Several million.
I'll ask him. Should ask him.
Yeah.
I'll write you a letter.
Utah, yeah.
Okay,
Write one for me.
I'll write you another letter.
thank you. Okay, let me write that down. So the lengthy grant. Application,
I
have you done
haven't
it?
applied for one of these in a while. Katie just did one. If you-
Okay.
Cliff's
Yeah.
done them.
Yeah.
Cliff's done 'em.
And then Anna and I just did one.
I think I wrote them one before. They didn't ask me for.
They did last year, but they didn't get the grant.
Yeah,
so they
yeah.
did 3.
Yeah, I think she is gonna ask me for another one, she told me.
Okay,
All right, okay, what else? Let's keep going. All right, we did already oh, here we go. This is fun stuff. Okay, go to the next slide, Matt. We've had so many great volunteers this February, March. We had Friends for Four Wheeling repaired our down fences out there in Lake Michigan. I shouldn't say our, because this is Sitla property. So the way it worked is Friends for Wheeling graciously came out and repaired them, and then Sam Flats paid for the materials, and I am right now getting reimbursed from Sitla for the materials. For the pipe and the cable. Well, all the materials, that's all we need, pipe and cable. And then they went out on the abyss and fixed the ones that were out there near the abyss too. And really, it was Jeff Stevens and Dave Hellman. There they are with their rigs. And I did put this on Facebook. Okay, so there's one group. And then the Motorized Trail Committee at Sand Flats went out on South Fins, and they did fix some fences that were down. And then in the right side picture, they put a bunch of boulders along one section. You can see the trails on the right. You can see those two Jeeps going up. They blocked off a place where people like to go that they shouldn't be going, and protect that tree. And then, oh, Matt, now you're, okay, good. And then here's one of the pictures that Mike also found in his deleted photos today and sent to me. So they fixed a fence out on the north side of Fins going in from the exit, I don't know, half a mile maybe.
Yeah.
So it's to block off a road that's been there for a while that we've just been blocking with rocks and signs, but it's getting more use now. So it needed a fence.
Before you.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, you can go back.
No, I think Cliff's gonna reach out to you, but one of the things they talked about at Motorized Trail Committee, Hellman brought up the staircase bypass. And that it was although it's painted, people are still going around to the right. And the conversation was that perhaps it's not clear enough which side of the line people are supposed to be. through the staircase
Oh, Matt,
bypass.
I think that line that, did you put that
Oh.
line?
It was there. I just been adding to it.
Yeah, that's right. You just lengthened it.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that's.
I mean, that hasn't been, Andrew, I haven't been there since last.
I know you haven't been here yet.
October, but yeah.
Next week. Next week, you'll be here.
I'll go out and check it out and show what needs to be done. It just needs to be a funnel, pushing people right over that rock to go over it.
Maybe we need a sign with an arrow.
People get to it, they want to go to the right. No, you just go right over the rock.
Part of the discussion was, is it a problem to have, and I'm not familiar with the area, so I'm just relaying, but is it a problem to have people going to the right?
Yeah, they
because
can't-
It's all slick rock, and of course my brain's like, oh.
I'm
this is the
I'm
designated-
surprised he would say that, because you can't really go to the right. You end up where you can't get down.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go straight over.
Yeah. There's a drop off, like you have to go.
Yeah, you have to back up if you go down to the right.
What, Matt?
You have to back up if you go to the right, and then it's a pain in the ass to back up, unless you have one of those, big crawlers, but yeah, don't recommend it.
Yeah. And then this Monday, Trail Mix had a work day for the hiking group, and he said to Colin Topper called me. He's like, I think I'm going to have like 20 or 30 people. So, because I'd originally said Pinion, and then I talked to my staff, and they're like, no, Falcon could use some work. Anyway, they had so many people that went and worked on both. So it's great. They went in from the Falcon Flow parking lot, went way up, and then others went and took some of the pile of cobble it had there for like the last year or two, and they cobbled the trail again. We cobbled it before, actually Crystal cobbled it and Jill, and somebody didn't like the cobble, and they just like threw it, picked up all the cobble that we had lined, because we were trying to bring, you remember it was a road. It's like, let's try to funnel it down, and we put seed out there last year too. Somebody just threw all the cobble away in the bushes or something. So they put more cobble down. So maybe, it's kind of like vandalism. We just have to keep doing it over and over, I guess. But I have a big pile of cobble there. So, here we are. There, Matt, here it is. Beginning.
Yes. So Jennifer, this is the area. So basically you see there's a carcinite here saying the arrow that way. And then people see we put all these rocks and brush. People, move it, and they think, and this is what they do. They just trampled it, and they go down this way, and they can't, once they go down a little further, it's a big drop off, and you got to back up. But people have just destroyed this every single year. And it's just
Where'd you get that picture from? Is that before you fixed it last time?
Yeah, this was actually when I got there last October. Then I fixed it up to look like this after.
Yeah, and then we really added a lot when we went out there in the fall for the At Your Leisure. There we had a whole bunch of people there, and we put a ton of rocks there.
Yeah, so
We put a ton of rocks there on the right to mark it off.
but the main thing,
Probably an arrow sign.
That's
Yeah, people are scared to go over this rock right here. That's the main thing. They're like, I gotta go over that rock, you know, so.
You
Property, you know where it's.
doubt it. Well, sometimes they will scrape the top of their vehicle on the left,
Yeah,
the wall,
what they call it, chin scraper or haircut,
supposed to scrape it. So. Well, we should put in like an arrow would be good.
That's pretty clear. He has a car seat.
Yeah, but an arrow, but if it's a metal post, it
Metal
won't be
post.
knocked down.
Yeah, I think 2 metal posts, one on this side, one on the right or left, and pointing the direction to go.
Yeah,
Take it away.
okay. Well, thanks for pulling up those pictures, Matt. That was great finding those.
Good job.
Okay, what else do we got? So lots of volunteers. We really appreciated that. Oh, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. Did I leave anything off that I didn't have a slide for?
County commission updates.
Oh, yeah, we need commission updates. Evan, are you able to give us any updates? Are there any?
I think that that the RISE application was the big thing, which you covered for the grant. I don't have a timeline on that either, but trying to think. I think that that's pretty much the only thing pertaining to this body.
Okay. Sorry if I got a little emotional talking about it.
No, it's fine. I mean, it was, yeah. I think you summarized it well.
Okay, good. All right, Jennifer.
It feels like spring. Spring has sprung. There are people. Today we had our first call from somebody stole my campsite out of Ken's Lake. So
Already?
there will be many more of those. We have moved to a number of e-commerce solutions, I guess we'll call them. I think I already reported about the remote off-grid kiosk that we have up at Horsemeat Campground. We put that in April, and then we put another one in at Big Bend.
Oh, you
in
did?
October. So those two exist, and then we have through rec.gov advanced reservations, or sorry, 0-day window reservations now in Loop A at Ken's Lake, and I have a document. I can
What does that
forward you.
mean?
It
That
means
means
that
to
you
show
have to have a reservation through rec.gov, but you can be here having food in town and do it the day of for Loop A, rec.gov.
But
At
you can
Ken's
even
Lake?
be out there. At the
You can be
site,
out there,
'cause I
yes,
did it.
but you have to do it through rec.gov.
Yeah.
And
And
then,
there's cell service.
and there's cell service, and
Crazy.
then Loop B is first come, first serve still. But then we're also having, so, and then that's the way most of our route sites are, up to 6 months in advance reservations. But North Klondike and Westwater, kind of think if there's any others, well, Hunter Canyon. Those are all 0-day reservation group sites. I'll just send you the document and.
Okay, okay.
But then there's also the scan and pay option, which we started at North Klondike last year. And we've now, so scan and pay is it's an app, rec.gov app, and you can scan the QR code to pay through the rec.gov app.
How
You
much
can
are
do
they?
that.
How much are they taking for each?
Well, the advanced reservations are $8, and then the scan and pay, well, let me say, advanced reservations and 0-day reservations are $8 in addition, so $28 instead of 20. And then scan and pay is $2. We started that at North Klondike. We're now doing it at Courthouse Rock, which is Mill Canyon, by the dinosaur track, boardwalk, pardon me, and then Westwater as well. That you can only do up to 2 nights in one transaction, but we've been pushing and pushing, and we're hoping here very soon we'll be able to do at least 7 nights in one transaction, because it's $2 per transaction. So anyway, e-commerce options, we're trying to embrace them.
So this is so that people don't have to use cash or check.
Correct.
Yeah. And Jennifer, how's it working? Is any issues with any, the scan and pay or with the the machines?
The machine is great, except for every now and again, we have some issues, like at one point this winter, some debris, I'm guessing, got into the credit card swiper. And so we had to contact the company and get them to send us a new one. The company is super responsive. They're out of Sisters, Oregon. The Big Bend one, the rock, we're having some challenges because we've been doing cellular. But it's not great. So we have to sync with a tablet. But we're moving to do a satellite there. It's just not in place yet. In terms of the reservations and 0-day reservations, our challenge becomes people don't show. And, we had it happen last weekend where all the sites are showing as reserved in Loop A at Penn's Lake, but there's like 3 campers there. And so for me, that's a huge problem because it's not even the money piece of it, it's the availability of a place to lay your head. And that's what our campgrounds are for. They're developed for people to use, not for people to pretend that they're going to use them and not show.
Yeah, and then it's frustrating if you're that person, because you see the empty ones, you're looking at the reserve, it's reserved, you're like, but, and then you're like, and then Europeans don't really get it because the language or whatever, so.
Yep.
Then if they go to that site and then someone comes in and goes, this is my site.
Well, so for example, the one this morning, there was a whatever, people called the front desk and we have site in Loop A reserved through rec.gov and there's somebody in our site. So there also is the issue of like, okay, so you don't leave anything in your site because now there's not a yellow stub, although the directions tell you that you should get the yellow fee envelope and write your confirmation number on it and put the stub there, so
I
there's
did not
something
see that
visible.
direction.
But if you have all the van lifers or the RVers or whatever that don't leave a cone or a chair or a tablecloth or anything. And so there's lots of challenges, but the biggest one from my perspective is just getting people to use the sites because they don't show. It's just no show.
Because it's cheap,
What's the
But
cancellation
it's relatively
policy?
cheap.
What's the cancellation policy? If you cancel, is there?
We need to make it more stringent because say they had 4 nights reserved or booked or whatever word you want to use. If they cancel up to 24 hours in advance, they get a full refund.
They do? Oh, wow.
Yeah, which it just
then
doesn't.
It used to be 7 days or a month or something. Now it's only 24 hours. Now it's 24 hours.
I'd have to double check on that, but it's just not,
I don't think ours are
what's the
24
word
hours.
I'm looking for? It's not painful enough, right? So they don't bother canceling and they don't bother showing, and then the site sits vacant. Which right now is not terrible, but next week and for the next 2 months, it's gonna be painful. So we did have our camp hosts show up. Some of them don't get here until next week, but we have 5 that are already out. So yeah, I mean, we're just trading workload and challenges for different workload and challenges. But we're trying to experiment with it and embrace modern technology to the best of our ability.
Yeah.
That's the good thing that we have our booth because we have somebody there. They can come pay.
Yeah. The point of contact.
Yeah.
Funnel, basically.
Yeah.
What else? So we finished the poison spider project for this phase, which was just regrading and resurfacing and removing of some rock and stabilizing the bank over by the toilets, between the toilet and the road, the access road, and they put a couple of I'll call them water bars, but that's really not the right term, on the access road to try and funnel the water and improve the drainage all along and clean it out. And then hopefully come July, we'll be looking at paving all that, asphalt. But
Where's this?
Poison spider.
How far are you gonna pave? The parking
Access
lot?
road to the parking lot.
Oh,
Fisher Towers is.
well, that's why you wanted that info from me. From paving my slick
Yeah,
rock and,
well,
not
no,
paving,
for that, I
but
want
maintaining.
that. And send and take out and.
I sent, did you get it? I sent it to you. Okay.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Fisher Towers is moving along. We have the auxiliary parking area for 33 additional spaces and another single toilet. The project should be done hopefully by the first week in April and opened. The toilet won't be here until June or July. We are figuring out what we're doing with the scenic skyway or Moab Skyway. We demoed those old buildings and put in a 20 by 20 shade shelter and a double toilet with an accessible ramp.
So the cross from the sloughs,
Madison
Madison
wetland.
Preserve.
Yeah. What else? else are we doing? We're gonna be improving the Big Bend overflow camping area, making that a little better, and then we're doing another group site at Montgomery. Any questions?
Exhausting just listening to the list.
But tell the Cisco Westwater, they gotta fix. The
So,
bridge.
yeah, so last October, we had 3 significant
Yeah,
water events. I don't know if you wanna call them flash
or
floods,
would
but
that be Bill
whatever.
Jackson?
Well, no, so we've been coordinating with Bill Jackson, sending him pictures, and then, what is today, Thursday?
Yeah,
I guess it was yesterday, Tuesday or Wednesday, Bill Jackson sent an operator and a grader
Oh,
out.
okay. Sorry.
And so, no, folks
Yeah.
have been using it,
Yeah.
it was super sloppy, I mean, the
Right.
whole Westwater Cisco area is
Yeah.
wet.
Yeah,
Very sloppy, and so the bridge, I don't know what they have in the works, if anything, for the bridge.
people are just using.
But
it.
the
It's
go
fine.
around, yeah, is
Yeah.
drying out, and with this kind of weather, it's good, so yeah, people are boating Westwater. Saw a video of a group coming down, and there's a bald eagle and there's a otter, like
Oh,
right
cool.
there, less than 5 feet from each other on
Oh,
the
cool.
rocks.
That's awesome.
wow.
We have lots of volunteer projects coming up, Jeep Safari, Red Rock 4-wheelers, Tread Lightly, and Jeep Fiat, whatever their company big name is. Let's see, what do we have? Frozen Spider, Bends and Things, Secret Spire. We added one more that I'm forgetting what it is. We do have a new version of our newsletter out.
Oh,
I should.
you should bring
mention-
me some for the booth, or I can come have somebody get them or something.
Yeah, sure. Andrea is going to be presenting next
Yeah.
Thursday, March 16th.
First, 8:10 in the morning.
That's great, then you're
I
done.
think that's the earliest presentation I've ever done in my life.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I'm an afternoon night person.
And what are you presenting?
Don't tell them to change that.
No, it's fine. I can do it.
What are you
Okay, so this is our 3rd iteration of what we'd like to do at least every other year, if not annually. It's the first time we partnered with the Park Service to do it,
Oh,
but we're
right.
calling it the Outfitter Workshop.
No, I'm signed up for it. Yeah.
Yeah,
sorry.
so Kansas Natural History
Look at
Association
my calendar.
has contributed a bunch of money for
No,
it.
through a
Thank you, Matt.
outfitter.
So there will be coffee and snacks and little wraps from Sweet Cravings.
Wow.
They do recommend that you bring lunch too, but this Matt has the agenda up on the board.
So glad you said something.
To remind you that you're going.
No, I actually was gonna bring it up. I was like, oh, it's not on my agenda, but.
Yeah, unfortunately, I am very sad to say I have a scheduling conflict and will be in.
Oh, yeah, you're not there.
Orangeville for
Oh,
the Canyon Country Partnership meeting this day. We leave town at like 6:30 in the morning. But I'm sure it will be great. Lots of good topics. And then the following day, Krista Sadler is going to do a field trip to the Mill Canyon Boardwalk.
yeah.
Is this required for all the outfitters? And-
It's not required. It's just a free opportunity for them to have information shared with them.
I did have, crud, I can't think of his name right now.
I got one of my guys.
Search and rescue, Grand County Search and Rescue. I had one of the new people, he's under Jim Webster. He,
Aaron, maybe?
yeah, might be. And he said, well, it's too late now, but he's like, next year, he says, I wonder if Search and Rescue could be involved because they really want to reach out to the outfitters about some important things.
Yeah, I think we should be doing it annually. The trouble is when you start pulling this stuff together, there's so much that you want to put in there.
Maybe 2 days.
Right, 2 days, and then also I think it would be great if we could do it in bite-sized chunks, maybe, like, 2 hours, the second Thursday of every month, something like this, because 2 days is a huge commitment.
Yeah.
We've also received some feedback from the permittees that they would like it later on in the season, like towards the end of May.
But
when
then
their
their
guides are
employees.
around.
Yeah.
But this, I think this is available virtual, right? There's the virtual.
That's nice, yeah.
And then we're trying to figure out how to, record it and then have it available
Talk to Matt.
through like a YouTube channel or something. Yeah, because I think it would be nice if the guides, when they come in, The comments could be like, hey, here you go. Yeah, here's all the awesome videos on Discover Moab, but here's this too.
Right,
Yeah.
here's what you missed, you know,
Yeah.
you weren't working here yet or on the
Right.
schedule yet, but yeah, you can watch it now.
And I guess I should mention Dave Pals, if you didn't see it in the newspaper, is the official field manager, so that's great. Just today, they advertised his former position, the assistant field manager for resources, my counterpart. So that's coming. What else?
I don't know this Krista Sadler, but she's gonna be talking.
And has written a couple books.
Yeah, I read the bio.
Yeah,
She's got an hour and a half. She's got a big chunk.
I'm sure there's a lot more, but that's what's
Yeah.
coming to mind.
Yeah, no, it's great. Cause you know, the county used to have the one that they did, the customer service one, where you would, you know, BLM and Park Service went to that. Remember, it was at the Mark for a few
Yeah, we
years.
haven't done that for a long time.
Yeah, that was really good. I thought it was really good for myself to just hear what the Park Service was doing, what the, you know.
And you
So-
can even bring that and just refresh or do the orientation.
We are
like-
reprinting.
Like a 9,000 acre, I mean, the basics, like.
It is,
people are
I already
always
wrote.
amazed when I just read that little thing, like 9,000 acre partnership, or a lot of people live here
They don't
don't
even know.
realize the
Yeah.
partnership.
No, I got my
Yeah.
PowerPoint all done, but I'm gonna go back
Yeah.
and look at, I did it like a month
Or
ago.
just like the.
Something
basics.
actually ahead of time. No, I'm always ahead of time, but I mean like really ahead of time. But I don't like to do it. I get nervous doing things last minute.
I guess one thing that's just kind of an anecdote, and I don't think we'll see it for a while because we just got another 10,000, but the little yellow envelopes, they're called recreation use permits for camping fees, they're turning pink.
Oh, my goodness.
Because as all things pandemic era, yellow paper isn't available.
Yeah.
Oh, so the fee envelopes will be pink? Well, you know, we
Yeah, I mean,
only
we
have,
probably won't see it until fall here, but.
we only have one place where we can get our envelopes because they're 3-part, you
Mhm.
know? And it's in New Mexico. And
Wow.
last year I ordered them like in May and I did not get them till like September.
It's crazy.
It was
Wow.
insane when usually I would get them in 3 weeks or a month.
Yeah.
And so we just went ahead and ordered again. So that we're not gonna run out till like in May, but we ordered like in January. Or we weren't out till summer, but
Yeah, but isn't the fee increasing?
we put the increase on there, so
Oh.
hopefully we'll get it.
More money.
We're trying to be positive, right? We put it on there. And if we don't, then we'll just like stamp them or something. You know, we've done stuff like that before. You know, I forgot to say what responsible recreation updates were. So they're really quick. Let me just read what Anna told me. She said, we have started our spring season and have trail ambassadors at popular mountain biking and hiking trailheads. We're branching
And
in.
motorized.
We're branching into motorized and
Yes.
climbing ambassadors this year. We're excited to be making connections in every recreation community except river. We've launched a business program and hosted our first 2 pilot sessions. The focus is on communication skills and communicating education and practices to protect during short interactions with visitors. We're working with USU to evaluate the effectiveness of our Trail Ambassador program. And so I wrote, how is USU evaluating? And she said, we have created a survey. They will be setting up at trailheads with and without trail ambassadors. They're starting up this week.
On those Grand County trails. I found out about from USU.
Well, you know, I haven't talked to Maddie yet, but yeah, I'm just curious what trail ambassadors do. I would like to know more about what they do.
They are
That's the number.
educating.
But
Yeah.
when they,
Look, here she is, she's gonna tell you,
Right.
she's gonna tell you
Anna.
right now.
And she tells people. all
What
the
do
time.
trail
I just
ambassadors
read, I
do?
forgot to read your thing, so I just
Oh, no
read it.
worries. I heard you next door and I was like, I'm still here.
Anna Sprout enters the room.
Hi, Matt.
You can always see it there.
Well, and back up, Hell's Revenge today,
Have
and
somebody out
Poison
on
Spider tomorrow, and
Sends and things tomorrow.
Things and Things and then Poison.
Oh, you did have someone on health
Yeah.
today?
Yeah, Jason went out on health today.
Oh, we went out on health. That's right. He
Yeah,
told me
doesn't
that.
have his tent.
Yeah.
And that's a really small parking lot and we'll think about it.
Yeah.
But trail ambassadors provide on-trail education. So our main tenets are how to protect yourself, how to protect the environment, and how to respect others. So we educate on leave no trace and tread lightly practices. So planning ahead and preparing, understanding biocrusts, durable surfaces, places that you can camp, waste disposal, and
Leashing your dog.
leashing your
cleaning up
dog.
its poop.
Exactly. So, I mean, think of the things that we might see on trail. We talk about it, cliff jumping, poison ivy.
No graffiti.
No graffiti.
No toilet paper.
Toilet paper, yeah, so not all of our conversations include everything we want them to, but
Everything.
as long as
Right.
they include some level of education, that's what we're going for. Sometimes the best we can get in is stay on the trail.
And do you have
Sometimes,
water?
do you have water? And that itself is preventative search and rescue, making sure that nobody's walking on the trail with 2 liters of Diet Coke.
You know what I was curious about? I hiked out to Pinto Arch and Corona Arch on Sunday. And there was quite a bit of graffiti on a boulder in front of Pinto Arch. And so what I was wondering was what the trail ambassadors do as far as when they're patrolling. Do they ever have a little project like, we will clean up some graffiti here, and then when people come up to this formation, we can be talking about that. And I just wondered if that was a component of what you guys do, like, and when you're biking or hiking, are you picking up trash, or is that going to take away from the kids getting their stickers? So maybe you don't want to pick up the trash when you patrol.
Well, there's a couple of things, right? So, if they do see that, and actually somebody just reported to me something in Grand Staff, near the end of the trail, which I think is a predominant graffiti area, but
Under the bridge.
yeah,
Oh.
something around there. So, but we actually don't, I can't think of a time when it was actively hiked out to Pinto Arch itself. So like, we should add that in. We kind of follow along the main trail typically. But we do trailhead education, we do on-trail education. And so sometimes our staff kind of stations up in front of a biocrust, the field of biocrust, and starts educating on that. Corona Arch is a great example for Karens, educating on Karens and their purpose and when they are not purposeful. And so, if we see graffiti like that, if it's very, very simple graffiti, like a kid just put a rock on it, it's easy enough to erase with water. If it's much more intensive, it's definitely a BLM thing. And like I said, they come back to me with it. And some of it, we all already know, it just goes on and on.
It
But,
just, yeah, it just got me thinking when I was out
Yeah,
there. I was
but-
like, oh, do the trail ambassadors
Do
ever
they-
do any of these little projects like, okay, we see some trash, let's pick it up as
Yeah.
we're walking,
They'll pick
or
up trash as they're walking, a few things that I don't require them to pick up.
they'll set up
are
Karens.
Dog poop and human waste, right? That's not, it's, sometimes you don't know.
You don't have them do that?
But sometimes you do know, sometimes you don't have the right equipment. No, not human waste. That one's.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like
no,
dog
That's just
poop.
what I do on my fix.
Yeah, I
We
pick up
don't-
human
we
waste and
pick
so
it
does
up
my
when
staff.
we have a bag, and if I find a bag, we encourage them to, but it's not like,
Well, it's different when you're hiking too. Like we're
Yeah.
usually have our
because
truck and
there
it's
is the
more front
possibility
country.
that they're out there for 5 hours, somebody coming back and stuff. I would say that, what I tell them is, if it makes sense, you should do it, right? Trash, you should do it.
But they're
Um,
reporting it to you, like we found toilet paper out there near Pinto Arch and Rick's like, I was with my husband, he's like, someone should come back and pick up this toilet paper,
Yeah,
because there's
there
poop out
is,
there
like-
too.
Because you came in with this very prominent, we'll see it at the trail, that makes sense to come back to me with it. So yeah.
So they're reporting, if they're not doing it, they're
Yeah,
reporting it,
but
letting people know to get
In
it done.
terms of projects, our goal is to go where there are the most people, and where we make the most connections. And so, we don't give them trail projects per se, but they do go out there and they take down the Karens, or they do help line the trail when they need to. But they also do set up in areas where they know they're gonna talk to a lot
It's just that when you're out there doing something,
of people.
people are more apt to talk to you
Yeah.
about it. And it's a great chance for education.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, why are you,
Yeah.
setting up these Karens or taking
Mhm.
down these Karens or, so it's good
We get
opportunities.
64% of our interactions include some form of education. And that's about 36,000 people that we've talked to in 2022. We've already talked to almost 1,000 in 2023. So we're 1 week in, and we're chatting up a lot of folks. or we've seen over almost 1,000. We talked to about 64% of it. So
I also kind of wonder about, I don't know, those numbers. We've talked about it too. Like,
Yeah.
what is, I mean, I worked Park Service for a long time and working at Sam Flats in the booth and everything. I mean, what is a real quality interaction and what is just like, you're counting them because they walked by,
well,
like how,
that's a good question. So that's educational. So some form of educational information was passed along between, just down trail to avoid biocrass to a long conversation. And then we do see 56,000 people. So like our presence alone changes behavior, but
That's what the whole research is about.
that
too, I
is
think,
is
the
also what the
control.
whole research is. So we talked to around 36,000 out of 56,000 people we saw. So there's still a large number walking past us that we count. And then we are getting our program evaluated by USU. So we have a survey created, and they're actually doing their first.
I would love to see that
thing.
survey.
I can pass that along to you. But they're doing their first rows with it this coming weekend.
They are.
Yeah.
And so they're already heading Corona. Because I had committed to Wayne Friedman that we would either paint it before they started. Or
They're
not.
going to grant staff this weekend, so. I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, we should ask Wayne.
Because he didn't want that to have.
An influence on it.
Yeah, any influence one way or the other.
About painting
Corona needs to be painted.
it? Right, why does it have? any-
Because if it's painted mid-research, because they're gonna do March, April and finish by the beginning of May at the
Because
latest.
it would
So if
affect
they
maybe
start,
people's
so
opinion of the
one of the things
trail.
they're looking
Oh.
at, people that are willing, they're putting GPS on it to see where their track is, what they're doing. Are they over here? Are they
Oh.
over there? Are they just staying on the trail? If you paint it again, the chances of people being able to stay on the same trail is
Are
much greater
higher,
than what
yeah.
they're
Right.
from them wandering.
I mean, if you have me paint, I could probably get my trail ambassadors to do it tomorrow.
Yeah,
What color do you want it?
they're saying they want people to dress up. I'm very confused.
I saw it outside.
No, they just wanna know what people are doing.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm gonna mess up. We just need to know, are they going on trail when we're there, when we're not there, what are the.
And
Oh, yeah, presence makes such a difference.
Yeah.
Somebody in uniform just makes such a difference. in
Well,
his actions.
my personal experience is that Corona, everybody pretty much stays there, but the dog factor. So when they see bad dogs and they're coming with dogs, they'll veer, so they don't have a direct interaction. So it's more about a dog thing than other places.
Well,
It's
also
very popular.
that chained area with the dogs, like I was out there and
Yeah.
I had my dog and it was like, okay, like everybody was really good about, hey, let your dog go down and we'll keep our dogs back and then we'll bring our dogs up and it wasn't even that busy, but
Yeah.
yeah, fortunately, there's a lot of slick rock out there.
Anna, I have a question.
Oh, go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, on your website, I'm just like looking it up, for Grand County. I'd love the trail conditions, that you
Yeah.
got.
People love that.
But
Yeah, that's mostly geared, I think, towards
Biking.
biking. We've talked about hiking.
It's
But yeah, those
Tracy,
are,
right?
those are pretty common mud reports in the spring, just to make sure that, all of these folks know what's happening.
It's funny, as of March 3rd, you have horse thief up there, but I just heard from someone that they thought it was pretty snowy and mucky out there.
Oh, yeah, it's under the bed.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, the question is, are you doing this?
Oh, Matt, did you have a question for Anna?
Are you gonna do a trail report for the motorized
We
trail?
don't have that capacity yet. Our main focus is getting the motorized trail ambassadors up and running. And kind of defining the program before we start committing resources to trail updates.
Okay, no, it sounds good. I was just like looking, if you had.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or you could reach out to one of the groups. for a trail update.
We're always telling people what to do.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we are, we're predominantly non-motorized, so we're entering into a territory that we aren't as familiar with, so,
yeah, I should tell Cliff on Motorized Trail Committee, he should throw that on the county page.
Well, I just had a similar conversation with him and he reminded me that the reason non-motorized trail committee, GCAT, does such a great job is because they receive money from the county.
They do receive money from the county.
Just sharing, yeah, because I think this is fantastic and I would like to see it more.
Well,
I spend most of the summer that I'm not in Indiana racing spring clubs this year. I'll be up on.
I would say something like that is not outside of our capacity if there's a request for it and a possible way to fund it.
Evan's on, right?
Evan?
I'm at a loss.
Yeah, I was hitting the unmute button. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
totally.
So, I mean, I think, you know, our program, so we've been working with the Motorized Trails Committee to get our signage and some of our resources approved. And so they've provided a letter of support for the grant that we're going to be applying for. Or they will, for the grant that we're applying for a UTV and trailer and some other amenities. And so we've been working with them. You know, we had full support today in that letter of support. And so that's kind of cool to see coming from some clubs and businesses. So I think that's important to keep in mind is, you know, maybe one of the best places to grow is within education, which currently has support from some of our local representatives, and the program itself has support as well. So, you know, then when we're thinking about expanding and supporting the motorized community, there is room to grow. We would just have to chat about that.
Well, and at the department head meeting this morning, I was mentioning to Maddie that if you guys are looking at UTV, you should be looking at the state contract site because they're going to be cheaper. That's where we get ours, and she didn't know about that. So
I don't know. It depends on if Can-Am, because the one recommended to us, since we are public facing, well, you are too.
yeah,
But, we're trying to meet the needs of what
yeah,
the
ours is a can.
committee might want, and what we also need to make sure we can be out there during some of our warmer months. So, and with all the gear that we have.
Oh yeah, because you wanted a full size rig. You didn't want the UTV.
Oh, well, we recognize that the UTV is an essential part of the program. I personally think that a enclosed Jeep vehicle is a good first step in guaranteeing that we have the space and, you know, the capacity
Right.
to use it throughout the week. But there was a recommendation to ask for a UTV first via the committee that we're on. So that's going to be our first request because it meets the needs of the grant committee. So and I think that, you know, that type of support is also important.
I'm trying to kind of reconcile, other than meeting the users in the same type of vehicle, why does that meet the grant committee?
That's why they rejected it last time, right?
I'm just trying
Well,
to-
there's a couple things with that we'll be addressing in our application, but you know, there was the statement that, and I'm not putting it in a quote, but there was a statement that you know, this money is used for OHV, and the vehicle that we were applying for was not considered an OHV. It was street legal, street based, but you know, still would have met the capacity. Well, from our side, would have met the capacities of the needs for connecting with the community and with getting to where we need to be and all the types of trails we need to be on. So the Jeep would have been a great vehicle to ensure that our staff have heating, cooling, and a large
capacity. You can't carry much in
But because
UTV.
some of the funding is coming off of OHV stickers, they feel more comfortable. putting
Yeah,
it back
and
into
this is the public meeting that you're welcome to watch. But there was also concern over how the vehicle will be used. So question of how do we document that sort of information? Is it only used for OHV purposes? And the question of why a Jeep first versus a UTV. So we're kind of addressing all three of those questions at once and going off the recommendations from the state with that. So that's kind of where we're going with that.
You know,
UTV, you can only, keep, you can.
Right. Mhm. And so part of our programming, so to give you an example, our hiking and biking program, we meet them at the trailhead. Sometimes we're meeting them along the trail as well when we hike or bike it. But then our climbing program has been slowly built out. And the needs of that community was not to just like to only walk across the base of the cliffs, but also to try to bring them into a space, a common space to have these types of connections and pass along this information. So we've created Climbers Coffee, which is very similar to what they do down in Indian Creek. So every Saturday, we'll be out at Lions Park near the boulders, providing some level of education along with incentive attendance and educational incentive items, as well as education and community building. So, you know, that is what that community needed, and that is in a centralized location to all 3 prominent climbing areas. So as we have a very talented and skilled individual, our first trail ambassador has a history of creating programming, and so we're excited and hopeful that he will help us build this out and kind of, as this program grows, meet the needs of the community, whatever that looks like. We just, you know, we just have to start somewhere and make some mistakes and in just like how we're, you know, like where and how and what, and then we'll build out a programming that is going to be successfully met, however it is.
and you hired your motorized trail ambassador. Have you
I
met
met him
him?
at the motorized rock clinic.
Yeah, Jason.
Jason.
Oh, right, today.
Um,
Yeah, I met him yesterday, so. Yeah,
He has a long history of going, you know, migrating.
I was gonna say something like, words matter, so could you use 4-wheeling instead of off-roading? I put my mouth shut,
Okay, 4-wheeling. No, that's
but it
great.
does have a different connotation.
It does.
Because off-road travel is not allowed.
That's true.
One
Okay,
public
we'll chat with
language.
him.
well, and I don't, we're almost out of time here, but I did not bring up with Jennifer yet about
Oh, the
places
placement,
along
yeah.
the trail, because
Things and things
'cause she-
specifically, you've already chatted about poison spider and set up a little bit with off the parking lot, but
I defer to you with what meets your needs. I mean, ideally slick rock, obviously.
well, I was just like we were picking out a place like on fins and things, and they were saying, oh, you know, before you get to the medieval chamber, The big- yeah, well, there's the one on top, the plateau there that Cliff's group put the cable along the edge. And so Jason had said, would that be a good place to set up a tent? And I said, well, I don't know that I want a tent because it's so visible for so long and people are going to see it from up top and go, what is that? Is there an event down there, a party down there? So I was kind of thinking like there's another place that might be like have less of a viewshed impact where that would still give them a lot of space. And then I was thinking more about that last night. Like you got to think about, because remember I said, well, you got to be back because people are going to be speeding up that to get on that plateau. But then I was like, well, if a whole bunch of people stop to talk to him, then other people aren't going to be able to get up. You got danger.
and you know.
So I was thinking that other place where you had wanted a fence, but we never gave, I mean, a gate, but we never gave you a gate. That would probably be a better place to set up. I know.
I'm
Well,
still ready to put it in.
Like I said.
Oh, well, then we should just do it. I forgot all about that till now.
It'll be raining, so we won't be setting up.
They're gonna be at Fins and Things Saturday.
And observing interactions and, you know, I'm not as familiar with like the terminology we should be using, so I think that's really important feedback.
You can talk to me too.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a good thing, maybe to come out and just observe for a period of time. So, yeah, and you know, that's another thing, we have the trail host programming, but we could also, maybe there's a time if there's an expert and we can go over vocabulary with the BLM specifically on motorized use, which I think would be really important for me and
Yeah, it's all a learning curve.
yeah, exactly. So
And I'm sure he meant no harm.
No, totally.
It's just like, no, but,
yeah,
and I've had these same conversations with Mark Finley.
so who should
Who
I?
produces the.
Well, I mean, you
movies.
can like look at verbiage in our brochures too, or
Take that. Yeah, but if, you know, if there's time to sit
the
down.
new one is coming.
Or make sure that you know, as I'm training and developing training, I'm doing it right too. So.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Any
can,
other questions?
you can send that kind of stuff to me. I mean, I have my whole
I think-
staff is working with motorized for a
What
long time
happens
now.
is it goes over my head. So somebody.
Well, we
needs
don't know
to-
what we don't know,
Yeah.
all of us.
Right,
So
there's
it's
so
a
many
team effort.
things,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it's just, that might be essential is just having you come out and observe. And kind of just.
I don't know if it'll be this Saturday. but we'll see.
Saturday, we're gonna make mistakes, you know, we all make
Maybe,
mistakes,
maybe
but,
I'll come up for an hour.
um,
We'll
Is
see.
it really gonna rain Saturday?
Observations
Oh.
are probably key in developing this programming 20% in this program, so.
Yeah, it's a big.
And I think it's honestly a bit more of a, it's more detailed growth, right? It contains a lot more details and, a little bit more history than non-motorized stuff, especially. So.
Yeah, and then our website, builds
Yeah.
on that too. But of course, we got a lot of ours originally from the BLM, the way we when we wrote that, we used a lot of things from the BLMs. And the BLM, of course, approved all of it.
Way back
Time,
in the day.
way
with
back
the
in the day.
American project, it was BLM training and
Yeah,
Greg and Kim Shepard training the AmeriCorps team and.
all those first brochures came from that time, 80s, early 90s, late 80s.
1990s.
Yep.
Cool, that's the logo. Amanda now Trenholm.
Yep.
Designed that logo in 95.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we built on, that little,
The little.
The little-
three-page fold-out.
yeah,
I
to
know.
do that. We did that.
Back
But
in the day, the county, they didn't give us gloves, but they expected us to clean up poop then. We've come a long way, folks.
we don't have that much poop in Sound Flats because we have 28 toilets.
But yeah.
We used to have a lot. Oh, the whole reason that those 40 sites got closed up above the crack was my pictures at the stewardship meeting of all the poop I had dug up in like one day up in where Pinion Trail is.
Right.
I was so sick of digging up poop there. in those sites. I took a bunch of pictures of it with the toilet paper sticking up, brought it to the stewardship meeting. That was before I was the manager. Yep, all comes back to poop. I was like, we're gonna get shut down.
Our Healthy Trails coordinator.
Oh, right.
His focus is on.
And Maddie had a name for that person today, a poop and
Ambassador.
poop czar or something.
He's poop czar. Yeah, and ambassador.
Yeah, poo ambassador. That's what he said.
Yeah, so.
Oh,
we call
that'll
it-
look good.
Officially, it's called Healthy.
Yeah, that'll be good on your resume.
Yeah. all right,
Thanks,
well,
thanks for coming in, Anna.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Finish my stuff. Bye, Matt. Bye, Evan. Bye. Local admin. That's Andrea.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I guess that's me. I don't know why it says local admin. That's because Matt set it up that way. Matt Sinisteros.
Thank you.
Bye, thank you. All right, well, should we adjourn?
I think so. First.
We good?
First.
All right, okay, well, we're adjourned. Matt,
Thanks
just,
all. Happy spring.
thank you very